Why did I open up Twitter for a second and I saw
Mhm.
a Gundam character, but dressed as a Sailor Moon character? Twitter's
What?
wild, dude. Like
Oh,
Twitter's a website. I'll tell you that much. Welcome back to the Cool Comic Show. We are here to talk about Young Justice, Season 4, Episode 21, Odyssey of Death. Now, if you've been playing along, currently, the first letter of every episode of this season spells out invitation to Neo Buffo. And
not
that's
my
it.
phone.
And that's
Please.
it. Um,
Uh,
I'm going to say this at the
5
start.
episodes left.
I'm going to say this at the start.
hmm
Overall, this arc, banger. I feel like before this arc, one of my favorites was probably Artemis. Calder's too, but this one, I think my biases with the New Gods.
Yeah.
I loved it. But with that being said, I forgot to say hi. I'm Damien, and I'm
Hi, he's
joined by
Damien.
Galactic
Hi.
Mr. E, aka Mr. E, aka E. What did you think about this episode?
He's Damien, by the way.
Did I not say that?
Huh?
Did I not? Wait, did I say my name wrong?
No, yeah, you're Damien.
What did I say?
You said you're Damien. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, am I? What's happening?
Are you Stevie? What's happening?
Are we in Moon Knight's mind right now?
No,
What did you think about this episode?
but I enjoyed the episode.
Mhm.
I enjoy. I
Tired, huh?
enjoyed the episode. You know, they did my girl Icon wrong. They really
Rocket?
not Icon Rocket.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They did my girl Rocket wrong.
She took a backseat.
They set her up for like this amazing like arc, this heartfelt arc, and like don't get me wrong, like I thoroughly enjoyed everything that was happening,
Mhm.
but I was sold a Rocket story, and the first two episodes are you can kind of see the story they're building. Then she was not in the third episode at all,
Yeah, it's
and in the
true.
fourth episode they were just like, "Well, here's the resolution."
Yeah.
It's like, all right, like I feel like they should have put a little more love into the story that they built around Rocket, and especially, you know, her
Her son.
dealings with Orion as
Oh,
well. I feel like I can kind of see what they were trying to do with kind of the mental battle
Yeah.
that they got put into, but I feel like the payoff just was not there.
Yeah.
It felt very rushed to me. And how she just said the whole conversation was "I see you," and like it's just it fell flat for me in that aspect. But shout out to Tamara, the boy,
The
the
birdfish.
homie, the fish. He got his redemption, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool to see that come back up. That freaking fight between Orion and Lor-Zod. I was just sitting there, yep.
Beat his ass.
Beat him up. Like, that was so good. Orion's one-liners were perfect as
Yeah.
always. It was a solid arc. It was a solid episode. But
Need
our
a
girl
rocket.
was back. Like you can't have it open with the magic, closed with the magic.
Yep.
You can't ask for more.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good to see the Zatanna pass the helmet back and forth as well. So that's good that that's still working out. I guess we didn't get a time jump.
Yeah. I agree with what you said. That I feel like there was one step missed with Rocket.
Yeah.
Like we had good 2 steps, we missed one, and we got the resolution.
Exactly.
So I think if we had that, like, I think overall, I think I see, like you're saying, I like what they're building towards, and there was a funny moment where after she has a conversation with Orion when they're leaving, and he says something about like thank you and that kind of stuff, and it cuts to her in the jet, and then she immediately is having a flashback to that conversation.
Yeah,
So
that was
it's
like we just saw, like
Like
That
I was
part
like the
stressed
flashback
me
to her
out.
son and with her baby
Yeah,
daddy makes sense. I was
yeah.
like, we just saw Orion in this conversation.
It was literally the last scene. It literally just
Yeah,
happened.
so that part was kind of weird, but
Yeah.
I think overall with this arc, I think it did a lot for this season. Like it answered
Mhm.
a lot of questions on what are
It
we
did.
working towards, what's the big thing, what's happening.
Hmm.
A lot of cool moments in this episode, and I dare I say, and this may be a hot take at least from E's perspective.
Oh boy.
As much as I was already done with Foragers, especially when they had that first conversation, I thought the moment where the purple one, when she gets to Green Lantern ring, was a cool moment. But I was still like, all right, we're done with the Foragers. Like, let's get them. I thought it was a cool moment. I'll say that.
I guess I can agree to that. I just, the way I despise this character, like I can't even be happy for that. I love Green Lanterns as well. I
That's
loved
true.
the
You are a Green
passing.
Lantern fan, yeah.
I loved the passing of the ring, but like it could have given it to a tree. Like it didn't have to give it to Forager. I'm so upset. Like,
Well,
then
here's I think for oh, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think for me the reason why it was a cool moment was because
Mhm.
before that they were having the conversation about like she was like, "Oh, I'll come with you to Earth," and I was like, "Please, we don't need two Foragers on Earth." So when
Please.
she was getting the Green Lantern ring,
Mhm.
in the back of my mind, I was like, "Okay, she's not gonna go to Earth then. She's."
Maybe Forager will go with her to Oa.
But I still think like
Please
in
stop.
terms of the storytelling, it was cool. But I was like, okay, I'm done with these Foragers. Like
Hmm.
there was a conversation, another conversation they were having where they said Forager at least 16 times in 10 seconds. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like I think that's the reason, like, just every time I see the character, my blood boils.
it made you know what it made me think. I was like, I wonder how we would have feel if they didn't talk that way.
Probably better, honestly. Like, probably better because like the design of the character is not like
Yeah,
horrible.
hmm.
I just don't like hearing it. I
I think that's
don't
what it
like
comes down
hearing
to.
the
It's a
character.
small thing, and it's not going to impact the overall story. And
Like
yeah,
if it were in a comic book, like if I were reading the words, like it'd be fine. Like I could get it. But like having to hear his voice say Forager doesn't think Forager wants to forage anymore. I just
I think
I don't care
part
for
of
it
me
though.
is thinking like this is my conspiracy brain. I'm like, I wonder if they're doing that. They have to be doing that on purpose. Like they know. Like let's bring a second Forager in that talks exactly the same. They have to know. They have to know,
It's
right?
like a screw you. It's probably somebody at WB's like least favorite character, like one of the higher ups. So it's
Yeah,
like, let's bring a whole family of them. Come on, F Jerry and
yeah.
accounting dog.
Shout out to Jerry. But aside from Forager stuff, there was a lot of cool shit happening, like with the Promethean popping up, and like you said, with Green Lantern sacrificing his life, which obviously you called it a couple episodes ago. Like this was going to be his redemption for Krypton.
Yeah.
Um, so they foreshadow that. I think that that mind battle that Rocket and Orion were having against Malafa'ak, like Rocket does get her moment there where she's like, no, like this isn't how it is. Like I know, she's like, I see Orion. She's like, I see you more than this monster that were born to be. So she has that, and like you said, I think we missed a step in the previous episode of her getting to this point because they just been
Yeah.
in that meeting room the whole time.
Yeah. Because like the last time we saw them interact, they were still kind of at each other's necks
Yeah,
in episode 2 of this arc.
yeah.
And then we didn't see them in episode 3 other than a Metron being like, "Hey, we gotta go." So like you said, they something should have happened in episode 3 to get us to this point.
Hmm.
And I feel like we just did not get there.
Maybe I'm thinking like because you know how they've been taking breaks in between these meetings. Maybe like one more phone call she could have had, you know, with the guy with the father of her child. We don't have his name, huh?
I don't believe so.
I think like if they had one more conversation and he like because obviously she was flashing back to the first conversation they had, but at
Hmm.
this point that would have been the third conversation because they had the first one when she dropped him off, the second one would have been the first phone call she took, and this would have been a third one. So following that
Yeah.
rule of three for a lot of stuff, it would have been like this really would have been into her like she would have started make we would have seen her start making the comparisons between her son and Orion in that phone call, you know.
Mhm.
So
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, so beyond that though, I do feel like this arc, like you said earlier, it was what we needed.
mm.
It's the arc we've been waiting for.
This it set up the
R.I.P.
whole
to
season.
Rock
Yeah.
RIP to Rockets, time to shine. But
Yeah.
like this arc was the missing puzzle. We got so much information, and we know what's happening in the next arc. Zatanna like
What a
set
cool
it up
moment, by the way.
perfectly, bro.
What a
Set it
cool
up
moment.
perfect. It's like if we can't find him, he ain't dead. I need
Like
a detective.
people
I
could
was
call
like,
it
I know
cheesy.
one.
People could call it cheesy, whatever. What a cool moment.
Whatever.
Like
That
I
was a
think
good moment.
this is the first arc that like that sets up in the other ones, right? Because I don't think the arcs before this have
Yeah,
been like,
exactly.
you know what we need? A guy who can swim underwater. Like there's hasn't been anything more.
not this. Yeah, and it's been a lot of callbacks to previous
Yeah.
arcs, especially with the overarching story with Superboy. But we got the callback to Zatanna's arc,
Mhm.
in Calderon's arc. So like, but this, like you said, is the first time where we're actually getting verbal confirmation that this next story is going to tie into what we are doing right this second. And like I am so ready for these final 5 episodes because I know Nightwing is not gonna be playing
Also,
around.
his new costume, we've seen it in the title sequence. It's sick.
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick. I am looking forward to it. I'm a huge Nightwing fan, obviously.
Big
I mean,
Nightwang.
the one time I don't wear
I
my
know the
Nightwing
one
hat.
time you don't have your Nightwing merch on.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I love that it was Zatanna was the one to set it up.
Yeah.
I like that giveaway line was perfect, and it was good to see all the magicians kind of
All the
come back
magic
together.
users.
I was a little confused there when they rang the bell and they were just looking around like what happened. I was like, what did happen?
Yeah.
What happened? But,
It's funny you
yeah.
mentioned her saying that line because again, my sometimes when I think of stuff that happens, especially in DC Comics property, um, I like to think of a hypothetical scenario just to like laugh at it. In my mind, I was like, what? What if she was saying that right? She was talking. Who was she talking to again?
um,
Nabu, right? In the
I
helmet,
think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
What if she was like, if he's not dead, you know what we need? Some kind of suicide squad.
Please. Or if, or if she said, "You know what we need," and I was just like, "Batman." Like, no, no,
Oh
Nightwing,
my
but
god! But it was
Batman's right there.
yeah, it was a good setup. But you mentioned Metron
It was.
earlier. Big shout out to Metron through this entire arc. I love Metron so much because he's such what's the word for it? He's just such a menace. Like he doesn't
He
really have
doesn't care
he
for
doesn't
anything
care.
but
He just cares
knowledge.
about knowledge, and so he doesn't really take a side. And the only time he takes a side is when it's gonna like destroy the universe.
Yeah,
And but other than that, he doesn't take a side. He just like poking people and just getting involved and shit. And he's just
mhm,
so fucking funny. I love Metron,
he
dude.
is. And bro, I think one of the funniest lines came from Orion talking to Metron in this episode. Well, not talking next to him
Yeah,
about him. Metron was like, "I told you what they were planning," and then Orion's just like, "Yeah, you finally got around to
yeah.
it." I
I
was just
fucking love
like,
Metron, dude.
"Please."
He's so good. But
uh,
so one of the things we finished off the video off with last week is you were asking
mm,
about if Superboy is loyal to Zod or if he's
mm,
playing him. And so in this episode, we see like we still don't really know because
yeah,
is he holding Zod back because he knows he doesn't want him to go to the real world, so he's playing him, or is he holding Zod back because he's that committed and he's like, no, they're trying to take you away. So I think
yeah.
they still kind of leave that up in the air.
Yeah, and now that you say that, I can see that side. Like 20 seconds ago, I would have said, "Nah, he's just kind of stupid right now," and he was just like, "No, you can't go out there. They're
Mhm.
trying to take you," because he doesn't know what's on the other side. But
Yeah,
now that you say that, I'm like, maybe he's just like really smart and be like, "No,
yeah.
you can't go out there. You're clearly evil."
Hmm.
So who knows? I mean, we still don't know, and we probably won't get clarification until
Yeah.
like.
Well, the
Uh,
projector's destroyed,
the
so
projector's going, but shout out to your girl. She awake.
oh,
Phantom
that's
girl is
true.
awake.
Phantom Girl, we saw her
So
eyes for half a
yeah,
second. Come on.
before the portal closed, Saturn Girl was able to finally wake up Phantom Girl. So now I feel like she's probably going to be the key to getting them out,
Yeah,
some in some way, shape, or form.
because
Shout
she'll
out to
start.
Saturn Girl and Changeling and Kid Flash, by the way, getting kidnapped. By the
Yo,
way,
could
I
I just
mean,
say, what a badass moment for Lor-Zod. What a fucking dope act. Because I mean, obviously he's been cool. Like for the first
Oh,
couple episodes, he was kind of just chilling in the time sphere. Last
yeah.
episode, he got involved with that fight, like jumping up and fighting Metron.
Oh, he was ready.
But this episode, he already had some
Yo.
cool fights. But that
Uh,
moment he flies up and like grabs her immediately, I was like, what a
yo,
villain setup, dude.
he is about that life.
He's
He
so
said,
cool.
"Yo, come at me. You drive off, or I'm breaking their neck." All right,
And
all
you
right,
see the
no
fear
problem.
in Bart's eyes, like, and Changeling's eyes.
Yeah, yeah. They're just like, I guess we'll comply, dog. Wait, hold up.
So
Uh,
they're gonna be
he's
moseying around during this Nightwing arc coming up,
yes. So who knows where they're going now? He doesn't have the time spare, but he has an invisible ship.
and people
So
from the future, and a
who knows
cosmic
what's
treadmill
about to
now.
happen? But that ship, will respond to Megan if she calls. So
That's true.
he may have messed up getting on that ship. You
Yeah.
never know.
So on that ship right
Um,
now is Saturn Girl, Bart, Changeling,
mhm.
Lor-Zod, Mantis, and Malefog, and the cosmic treadmill.
Yes, yes.
So
So, I mean, anything could happen, but whatever's happening, I'm so excited that all these stories are just
coming
finally
together.
lining up.
Yeah.
We're on the final arc, which is I know Nightwing's about to bring it. I am disappointed in kind of how Rocket's storyline fell a little flat, but I
Mm.
do still appreciate what they tried to do with her story. And
She
the
got more
art
screen time here than she's gone before.
she did. She got a lot more screen times than she got before, so she didn't get like kicked to the curb. She wasn't the outshining star in her arc. We saw the same thing kind of happen to Zatanna as well. But I hope that we do kind of see Rocket come back in the. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of team up in this
Yeah.
next arc,
I
and I
assume
do
that, like I
hope.
said, the final episode, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's still this clip in the trailer where Nightwing and Calderon are fighting. So I don't think we've seen that part in the arc yet.
Is it
I mean, in the series
is
yet.
it edited to look like they're fighting, or are they on screen together at the same time?
That's probably right. It's editing, but wherever they're fighting in the same place.
Okay.
They're fighting in the same place, so we haven't seen
Yeah,
wherever that is take place as of yet.
because I wonder what. Now that you mention it, I wonder if this Nightwing arc is it gonna be its own little, like he's doing something in a self-contained story like the other arcs, or is
Mm.
he going to be wrapping up all these other arcs in each episode, like following up with Artemis, following up with McGann, following up with Calder on his
Mm.
break? Like, is he going to be doing that, or is it going to be like Nightwing's in Bloodhaven working this case, and he's hearing about all these other situations? Like he's getting updates from Rocket about the meeting, he's getting an update from Megan about Beast Boy, like.
That could be the case. I mean, he is that guy.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
guy that everybody turns to. So he could have been getting updates this whole season, and the first episode or so is him just kind of getting this information,
Mhm.
and then the third and fourth episode is him trying to go it alone. Who knows? Fifth episode, team
Ooh,
up. Who knows?
that makes me think, because like even tying this more together, like I didn't even think about that. If his first episode of his arc is him getting all these updates from everyone, and then it starts putting together a timeline for us of like, when did this happen, when did this happen, and
Yeah.
he starts talking about, like, obviously it starts off with him getting information about Superboy and him talking with Artemis and talking with Calder. Like, that'd be cool to
Mhm.
see.
Because like Zatanna said, she does need a detective,
Mm.
and so he's going to start at the beginning of the story. And the beginning of the story was the first arc.
Damn, I
So
didn't even think about that.
I do think we are going to kind of see Nightwing's perspective throughout all of these other arcs, and then like the final episode is Superboy and Kid Flash are are back. So who knows?
I I hope we get some Nightwing fighting. He hasn't been
I
fighting
do
a
too.
lot. Like,
And
there's an episode way back in season 2 at I
Mm.
always remember it, Summit, where they, like, the Beatles, or I guess the Reach and the Light are meeting, and then the team infiltrates that meeting and Nightwing's in there just fucking people up.
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
there was some cool
But
fights from Nightwing.
I don't know though, because like a lot of the members, with the exception of like Calderon and Artemis, um, they really didn't do a whole lot of
They didn't
fighting in
fight.
their arcs.
Like Rocket
You
did her
know,
stuff with her bubble, and that was kind of
Rock,
it.
yeah, she put somebody else in a bubble so they
They
could
could fight,
fight.
which was a sick ass idea, by the
It
way.
was a sick ass fight. Like that fight got me going, but like. She was kind of just there.
Mm.
Zatanna was kind of just there while Child and Clarion destroyed half the Earth. So
You forget, Zatanna had a very important task that was definitely needed. She had to hold up that rock. Don't forget.
yes, you're absolutely correct. How could I speak against The Rock?
She couldn't have
Honestly,
said backwards about like rock stay in place.
you know,
Nothing like that. She had to hold the
she
rock up.
couldn't have given a 10 movie Fast and the Furious deal. Uh, you know,
Why did they let her fight? Like, why did they let her just pop off against Child? Like, that would have
you
been so
know,
cool to see.
we got the Justice League Dark movie where she goes off, so that's just gonna have to hold us over till the end of time.
Honestly, when I watched that movie, I haven't seen it in a while. It might be time to rewatch it. It's so fucking
Time.
good.
It's
The way
definitely
that
time.
movie start, not to get into a Justice League Dark tangent, but the way that movie starts, where these people are
Mm,
murdering people, and it set the tone immediately. So fun. If you haven't watched Justice League Dark, I think it's 2017. Go rent
mm,
it. It's like $2. It's on
yeah,
HBO Max, I think.
I
Maybe
believe so.
it's so
They
good.
do have a lot of those movies on there. I don't see why it would not be on there.
Like that movie, and I guess it's kind of tied to Young Justice.
Mm.
When that movie came out, obviously Young Justice was still on hiatus, and or canceled. And so
Or canceled.
and so like
Also, use hashtag Save Injustice or Injustice Season
I
5
think
or
it's
whatever
keep
they're using.
I think it's
You
keep
just look up
binging. Look at the
look up the hashtags.
look it up.
you,
But
you got it.
when that movie came out, obviously I had liked Zatanna for a long time, and Young Justice was gone. Zatanna hadn't really showed up in a lot of stuff, and when this movie came out, it like reignited my love for Zatanna
Yeah,
because she hadn't been in anything for a while,
yeah.
and so I was like, "Fuck yes, let's get Zatanna in
Yeah.
everything right away, dude." And then they were like, "We'll put her in a Justice League Dark movie live action." That gets canceled. We're gonna give her an HBO Max show. A year later, we don't know what's gonna happen. So
Might not you might not happen. We'll talk about that on our one of our future shows, but HBO Max.
I mean, wait, was she? No, she died in Justice League, the final one, Apocalypse War. Um,
Yeah.
which not to get into another tangent, the way she died in that movie, I listen. I'm not a writer.
was it
Okay,
was it
I'm.
worse than the way anybody died in the Injustice movie, Doug?
It's funny. I saw someone talking about the Flash death in that movie recently. We're gonna hold him by these metal bars.
You mean the Flash who does not die in the
But anyways, so when
you know
This Young Justice came back, I was like, hell yeah, more Zatanna.
mhm.
And then cutting back to this season, I was like, oh, everyone's getting their own arc, and Zatanna has 5 episodes in her arc, and then she holds a rock up. So
Yeah,
my point in all
you
this
know.
is
Some
Zatanna is
might
a
say it's like waiting to show Jake Lockley until
yeah, shout out to Moon Knight. Check out our Moon Knight video if you haven't seen the finale, or if you haven't seen our newest video talking about the finale. But yeah, dude, like Zatanna should have done more in her arc. And cutting back to this arc, Rocket, I think Rocket did more in her arc than Zatanna did in hers, but there's still a step missing in Rocket's arc.
Yeah,
So
yes,
with
100%.
that whole tangent coming back.
100%.
Well,
Um, yeah.
well, there was something else that happened in this episode. I forgot. We talked about
Let's
Superboy,
see.
talked about Lor-Zod, talked about the Green Lantern stuff. Uh, what if they do announce a Green Lantern spin-off show and it's
It's just Forager?
starring Forager and Razor? How would you feel about that? Can you imagine? Not John,
I
not
would
Hal,
be
not
I'd be so
Guy,
hurt.
not Jessica, not Kyle, not Simon.
And bro, that you're saying this, and my mind is like, this could actually be possible.
It could be.
They set up a Green Lantern literally right after this happened, and
They set up
I
two
don't
Green
want that.
Lanterns.
Why would you put that energy into the
They
universe?
set up
Why
two
would you
Green
do that?
Lantern storylines with Razor and Forager. What a clash. What a clash of fucking stories I would be, dude.
I would cry literal tears, but you know what? We've got bat wills, so anything could happen, dog. You know what we don't have though? The Wonder Woman. You
You know what's crazy?
know what we do have? Pain. We have
You know
pain.
what's crazy? We talked about this. If you haven't seen the Cool Comic Show episode 4, where that's our main show, we talk about everything. We go into detail about the Discovery and Warner Brothers merger. There's been some news this past week with more cancellations, like Wonder Twins, all the CW shows. It's crazy to me that through all of this, things don't get canceled like Bat Wheels. Like, how does that? Is it literally just because it's Bat? Like,
toys.
I guess that's true.
Because that's the whole reason Young Justice got canceled in the first place.
Shout out to Young Justice, season 1 and 2, not selling enough toys. What a
reason to get canceled.
And the Green Lantern show too got canceled because of the same thing. So maybe we'll get a Green Lantern spinoff show.
Don't put that into the universe.
I think
I'd rather just not see Green Lantern at all at that point.
If they were to hire, if I were someone
be down for a Razor.
If I were someone at DC, right? Memes aside, and I saw the fan reaction to Razor, I would announce a spin-off Young Justice show because of the fact that Young Justice, as much as people, there are still those people out there that are like, it's not as good as season 1, it's never going to be good as the comics, whatever. A lot of people love this show. And so this is the only animated show they have right now, right? Besides Bat Wheels.
Harley Quinn is
that's
in limbo somewhere.
Yeah, true. Well, I guess in terms of like, because that's a TVMA show. This is the only like animated
notes during this fandom.
So if I were a DC exec, obviously the merger's happening, I would 1, renew Young Justice, 2, expand the Young Justice universe and announce a Green Lantern show where Kilowog is a star and he is obviously training Forager back on Oa, but working with the Razor, trying to help Razor and on that whole adventure. So it's not none Forager of the Earth. It's none of the Earth Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
But it's Green Lanterns, and Green Lanterns get some shiny spot.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like that's sort of along the lines of what we may have gotten from the Green Lantern Corps movie that was, announced 13 years ago at this point. Who knows? But I feel like Kilowog is definitely marketable.
Yeah.
He's gross and he's funny. That's up any kid's alley.
I can see the poster now with Kilowog in the center, right? Yeah. And then Razor on the side, kind of being like a little moody,
like a buddy comedy.
No, like not against his back, but like Razor's just kind of looking off to the side, like with his kind of moody self.
Yeah.
And on the other side, on his right hand, next to Kilowog,
don't do this,
is Forager with her 4 arms, right? And then,
what if Forager just gets a power ring for every arm? Huh? How about that? Is that what you want?
What if Razor teaches Forager how to handle the blue and red rings, and then Forager gets this amalgamation of all these colors, and then Razor's like, you know what? I see the power in you. I'm gonna retire so you can be the star.
We could write this whole series, dog. I would never watch it, but we could write it.
The only reason I say that is because I think Green Lantern needs more. I mean, the Green Lantern movie, animated movie, is coming out. I think Green Lantern needs more media presence. Because again, we mentioned this before. I think that Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds, it put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths of the Green Lantern property. And so even the comics right now, there's not really like the Green Lantern's kind of a mess in the comics right now. And so I think Green Lantern needs more presence. So a spinoff show with Kilowog being the star, I think would be cool. And then having Razor come back, So
no Forager though.
Well, that was Rocket's arc. Perfect setup for Nightwing's arc. As we mentioned before, we are going to be doing an actual live reaction to the finale. We'll be sitting here. I'll get my popcorn ready. I don't eat popcorn, but my drinks, maybe a burrito or something. He's going to have whatever they eat and wherever he lives. But that'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. Today is Thursday, December. Oh my God. Thursday, May 5th.
Hello. Not the time jump.
So E's going to be taking a break. All right. E's going to be taking a break from the Twitter while he avoids Doctor Strange spoilers. He's not going to watch it till next week. I'm watching Doctor Strange tomorrow, so I'm going to take over the Twitter. Maybe I'll remind you guys even more of some of the cool superhero costumes we had back on Smallville. Maybe not. Maybe nobody should see that ever
We
again.
should. We should do a tier list of just
If we, you
Smallville
know what? I'd
cartoons.
be down to make a video of the tier list
Yo,
of all live action comic book
let's
suits.
do it. Co-stream. Let's go.
I'll be down. Well, make sure you guys follow our Twitter. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We will see you next week for Nightwing Arc 1. What if that episode starts and Forager dies? But thank you guys for thank you guys also all the support on these recent Young Justice video. We talked last week how we got our first 250 view video. I can update you guys. We have our first 300 view video. You kind of nuts. And
Appreciate the love.
I hope you guys keep enjoying these. We're going to keep making them even if one person's watching it. I'm very, very excited for this live Raw reaction finale. I think it's going to be fun. In 5 weeks, which seems so far away.
It's literally tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. And like and subscribe.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.